Good morning, family. This is Aunt Beth. Welcome to my lamppost. So, this morning I believe I have a word from the Lord about 2026. It's a serious word. It's not good. Anyway, there's so many things trying to get out of my mouth at the same time. This is not to spark fear. One of the other issues is timing. God is such a now God that sometimes when He speaks, we think it's going to happen tomorrow. It may not. So this is Christmas Eve Day 2025, December 24th. And I'm going to release this tomorrow morning on my normal Thursdays for you. In particular, it's out of Zechariah 7, most particularly verses 23 through 27. And let me read this to you, and then let's talk as far as what is our response and what can we do. All right, starting with verse 23. Make a chain, for the land is filled with crimes of blood, and the city is full of violence. Therefore, I will bring the worst of the Gentiles, and they will possess their houses. I will cause the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Verse 25. Destruction comes. They will seek peace, but there will be none. Disaster will come upon disaster, and rumor will be upon rumor. Then they will seek a vision from a prophet, but the law will perish from the priest and counsel from the elders. The king, in other words, nobody's going to know what to do. Excuse me. Verse 27. The king will mourn, the prince will be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the common people will tremble. I will do to them according to their way, and according to what they deserve, I will judge them. Then they shall know that I am the Lord. So this is an individual as well as a national judgment. Typically, the Lord brings three categories of judgment: war or the sword, violence, pestilence, and famine. Pestilence meaning plague, famine. We're not going to be able to just say, grace, grace, mercy, mercy. Remember that though the Israelites were brought out of slavery in Egypt, they were still subject to discipline for spiritual adultery and unbelief. That's Jude, verse 5. So my sense is God's not playing, and He will not be played. He's not an ATM. He will not be used. How long do we have? I don't know. As I said earlier, God is such a now God that sometimes when He speaks, it feels like it's going to be tomorrow. But there's always something that you can do. Okay? One is to examine ourselves. Remember that it talked about in verse 27, I'll do to them according to their way. So there's an individual as well as national judgment. So I would examine myself. If you need to repent, if I need to repent, would repent, and I would worship. Worship in the sense of in His presence is peace, protection, and provision. We've talked about this before. But it'll also sync you up and tune in. I mean, I've referred to it before, but I've gone through some rough times. And what got me through was worship. And looking back on those watershed moments, the year I lost my job, Lord said, don't take unemployment. I had no money. And it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. On the outside, it appeared to be the worst of times. But on the inside, it was the best of times because I walked in the presence of God. I haven't walked in that kind of strength of His presence since. So it could be said of all of us coming through this, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, all at the same time. That's a quote, by the way, from Charles Dickens' Tale of Two Cities. He is God. In His presence is peace, protection, and provision. Seek His face. There's a sentence that just tore me up when I read this. Zechariah 6, the last half of verse 9, when he was talking about the betrayal of his people to him. He said, I was crushed by their adulterous heart, which has departed from me, and by their eyes, which played the harlot after their idols. I was crushed. Ever been crushed? Yeah. That just grieved my heart that God felt the same way. But I promised myself it wasn't going to be because of me. So, in this path forward, if I had any personal counsel to you, it would be to live very intentionally and deliberately this next year. Seek His face. Not just throw your time and your money away as if you can always get more. But be intentional. I'm not talking about frugal. I'm not talking about miserly. I'm talking about being a good steward. No penny left behind. He is God. Seek His face. It's going to be all right. It will be the best of times. It will be the worst of times. But in His presence is peace, provision, protection. And if I don't ever meet you on this side of life, I'll meet you on the other side. Have a fabulous day. All God's best.